Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. For the second time in Hinkle Plasma Cutting Pavement Ignition Series history, we will take to the high banks here on the 2-mile oval. Of course, last year was the Dickinson Challenge event that played host here at the Auto Club Speedway with Tim Henderson picking up his first and only Reigel Promotions Esports win. And Jared Mogar is the current track record holder set during that event as well on June 25th of 2025. It's a 40.558. So we'll see if any of our drivers here this evening will be able to get underneath that mark. We have 15 trucks signed in currently for competition. It's currently we're watching the 30 of William Owens out of Huntsville, Alabama. Of course, driver that is victorious in tonight's event will receive a custom trophy, just as they did 2 weeks ago. Aiden Schramm, when he won the Shamrock 100 at the Milwaukee Mile. Of course, we have now ventured way farther west. Wisconsin, obviously, very much so of a trek to the West Coast here out in California. Lap 1 here for William Owens. When he gets to the line, we have 40.777. Putting him fastest currently in the 30, about a fucking second to the Ridley's back. Armando for third now. Aiden Schramm now up to second in the 86 course. The winner, two-time winner this season, won at Talladega and picked up the win last time out at the Milwaukee Mile. He currently sits second in the series point standings, 19 points back from your point leader, Jordan Navarro. Of course, Navarro in 96, he picked up his only win on the year on March 5th at the Iowa Speedway. William Owens went a little bit slower on his second lap, just a tad bit slower. So will Aiden Schramm. Now of cars out there have taken the time. Now we'll go on board here with the 96 of Jordan Navarro. As he comes to the line for his second lap. Navarro will be a little bit slower. Of course, qualifying doesn't mean too much when it's an 80-lap race. But nonetheless, he will currently be slotted in 9th. William Owens still your fastest qualifier to this point with a 40.777. Still about 2/10 off the current track record. So we'll see if anyone can get to it or not. Rooney just completed his first lap, putting him 11th quickest. And Josh Slater has completed his first lap as well. The 300 machine will put him 13th. He's a little bit ways off the pace currently. See if he can improve here on lap 2 for the Elite Performance Industries number 30. Only 2 trucks not to come on to the racetrack yet. Jake Roya in car 10 and then 66 of Jason Haynes is the only 2 that have not raced the 2-mile oval to this point. Slater comes to the line on lap number 2. Does improve, but he will stay 13th fastest. Of course, this is the only series that we currently have on the channel that does not award qualifying points. Of course, typically, top 10 receive points in our other dirt oval series and the off-road series. That is because we have an invert for the heat races each evening. That way it makes drivers not want to sandbag as much. Looks like Jake Roya and Jason Haynes are going to start from the back of the field, which could be a wise choice for them. Of course, with the NASCAR trucks, they never typically raced at Fontana, as usually it was just the O'Reilly series and the Cup series that would venture this far west. But Jared Mogar's track record of 40.558 from last year will stand still to this point. We'll be doing a 4-wide salute here this evening for the first time in 2026 for the Pavement Ignition Series by Hinkle Plasma Cutting. Without further ado, here is your starting lineup for tonight's 3rd annual RPES Gold Rush. Starting on the pole in 30 out of Huntsville, Alabama, currently sitting 5th in the current series standings and a best of 3rd on the year. It'll be William Owens. To his outside, the Shamrock 100 winner and 2-time overall winner on the year. Sits 2nd in points. It's Aiden Schramm out of Gardner, Kansas. And sitting 3rd out of Raleigh, North Carolina, it's a 77 of Sean Smith. Then the legend, Robert Puckett, will start P4 here this evening out of Lavaca, Arkansas in 45. Then Grindell, Iowa's 67 of Ty Dickinson driving for Sweet Tea Gang will still go 5th. 6th will be Dylan Brandon in the 59 Slide Job Syndicate machine. And Matt Hinkle, of course, head honcho there at Slide Job Syndicate, he will start 7th in the 52. And to his outside will be another Sweet Tea Gang driver driving his 618 engraving and design, number 15, Matt Taylor. And going 9th, your current series point leader, the 96 of Jordan Navarro out of Sacramento, California. And to his outside, another West Coaster, the 78 out of Mesa, Arizona, Armando Melgoza. Then to the East Coast, 27 out of Averill Park, New York, Jimbo Rooney. Of course, driver has the most starts in league history. Then Scott Thomason there in the 6th out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Pretty good run last night at the Port Royal Speedway. He'll go 12th. Then 13th, Josh Slater out of Placerville, California in the 300. And to his outside out of New Hampton, New Hampshire. I always think that's an incredible hometown slash state combo to ever have. And he'll start 14th. And rounding out the field in 15th will be Jason Haynes out of Alberta, Canada. Assemble here into 4-wide salute. Of course, our 4-wide salute is brought to you by Victory Fuel and has been since 2024. So the 3rd straight year Victory Fuel is signed on to be our sponsor for the 4-wide salute with Reigel Promotions Esports. Of course, pavement drivers, they have a little bit tougher of a time getting 4-wide as they don't typically they have a tougher time getting 4-wide, but we'll get going racing here. Green flag coming right to the line here. William Owens and Aiden Schramm will lead us to the green flag. Here we go, we're away in the 3rd annual Gold Rush. Owens side by side there with Aiden Schramm. Schramm cut back down to the track. Of course, the winningest driver this season, Aiden Schramm is. Winning the most laps this season. Side by sides they hit off into 3. Of course, this is the first time, other than the Dickinson Challenge last year, that the trucks have done battle at the Speedway. We've done a couple events with the O'Reilly Series in the Gen 6 cars here at Auto Club during the Jack-O-Lantern 200 that we do every single year. Of course, the winner last year was Tim Henderson. He is not in competition this year, so we'll see the winner of this event at the very least. continue to stay side by side. Will be a lot of drafting here this evening. Obviously not as much as you'd see at Talladega or those type of super speedways. Nonetheless, the trucks here a little bit less horsepower than some of the other NASCAR vehicles on iRacing. Schramm now has taken sole possession of the race lead. 𝐇𝐢𝐧𝐤𝐥𝐞's fastest lap just was turned by Aiden Schramm. As he will look to scurry away from the field here in the early going. Tonight they only have one extra set of tires in the pit, so they're going to need it very much so save those tires here on the long run. Also does appear that Jake Moya did not make the call in the 10. He missed the start. So now I see the 114 trucks on the side of the screen. Some battle going on for the impact. And Taylor running side by side. Of course here at the Auto Club Speedway, so many lanes to pick from. It's almost like going down the highway. You see right here, from Charlotte, 6-7 lane highway. Auto Club Speedway's like continuously lap after lap. You see Mark Puckett here, the power leader on the outside, that third spot with the high side momentum. One goal for the 45 of Puckett. Puckett currently 13th in the point standings right now. And he best finished on the year, a 12th place run at the Iowa Speedway back in the beginning of the month. Schramm still out front. Of course, these drivers sort of, like I said, be a lot of close pack racing, sort of pack racing tonight. Everyone will be drafting up on one another. A lot of close battles. Definitely will come down to one of my favorite tracks on iRacing. I always try to put on at least one of our pavement series schedules every single year. See Ty Dickinson there in the beautiful blue 67, running fourth. As he just slowed himself up in front of Sean Smith. Of course, Sean Smith, 77. He's had a rough year to this point. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. Last time out, I wasn't there because I was doing the Dirt Car Esports race control. But he ended up getting disconnected from the session after he's having a great run. A lot of similar things just like that has happened all year long for him. Ty Dickinson, want to talk about him, of course. Last year's, this was the Dickinson Challenge event, and this year's Dickinson Challenge will be on Tuesday, April 14th, featuring the 358 Modifieds, the 3500 I-rating cap for that event, and I'll be at the Knoxville Raceway. 67 laps for his car number, of course, in awareness of effort. Today, that also the driver that has the best paint scheme, representing a charity or awareness of their choice, will receive a free membership for the following year, and we'll get a free wrap from Apex Graphics as well. Of course, Jake Royal, the driver, did not make the call here this evening. The one that is in charge of Apex Graphics. So now Dickinson now going to head to the inside of Robert Puckett to go side by side down the front straight. Here and almost done with the corner. He's just in front of the 45. So new Ty Dickinson now up to the third spot. Of course, he sits fourth in the point standings coming into this evening's action. He's 33 points back from his fellow teammate runs 9th right now on the racetrack. Navarro, very nervous as I've talked to him over the last couple of weeks. He doesn't mess up over the next couple few races. Of course, just this week, next week in Las Vegas, he has a 19-point lead, so he basically just needs to finish inside the top 5. Aiden Schramm runner up the points. Porter to win the second. Porter win both races. Pretty much that is a call there. Basically just needs to finish inside the top 5, and no matter what else happens, he's good. All points, either way. Of course, Benjamin Wirt, he's sitting third, only 20 points back, but he's not in competition this evening. As next week he was going to have to miss anyway, as he has to work third shift for his job. Sucks for him. Obviously had a very good run. Picked the season opener at the season opener at the Homestead Miami Speedway, and obviously was very close to being able. Very close in points to be still in the battle to this point. You see Dickinson now still in the top bucket there for third. So now Dickinson going to try to see if he has anything. Gets in the outside wall though. Has to corral it down the front straight. And try to rally back up to second place position now. Got 11 in to this 80 lap affair here at Auto Club. Strand has now migrated to the top shelf on the racetrack. See, Matt Taylor now has broken away from the back of the pack. He'll see if he can get himself into the top 5 in a few laps' time. Yeah, coming into tonight's action though, everyone in the top 7 points is theoretically still in the hunt, but for the most part, the top 4 points have a realistic chance at being in the fight. As a lot of them could be eliminated here tonight, but those 3 should be in the fight no matter what happens next week. Of course, they would still need some things to fall their way depending on what would happen with Jordan Navarro. Of course, Navarro wins or something like that, puts them in a lot worse of a spot going into Las Vegas next week. Of course, Bucket did work his way back by Ty Dickinson up front after he had that miss 2 laps ago. Now, Sean Smith at 77 is inside. He's just hoping for a clean run. As we spoke a few laps ago about how he just has had a really rough go of it this year in the Pavement Ignition Series. Of course, finished top 5 in both the Ignition and Elite Series last year. But just Lady Luck has not been on his side in the 77. Go back here and watch. Navarro, they go side by side. He's now in the 7th spot on this track. Sean Smith's working his way by Ty Dickinson as well. Back up front here, see Sean Smith blinked out there for just a second. Okay, he's back. I'm about to say, I saw Sean Smith dropping like a rock on the screen. I thought maybe he was losing connection again. But lucky for his, he's at least going to hold on for now. As I continue this early green flag run. This is sort of what I expected to see out of these drivers here early going. Of course, we have not had many cautions really the whole season. Those we've had is, I believe we had 7 at Talladega. Which honestly pretty good considering the fact that, obviously plate racing, you're running side by side, 2 or 3 wide the whole entire race. That we've not had more than 5 cautions in any of the series we've had in 2026 to this point. which is pretty incredible stuff out of each and every one of our drivers. Schramm still leads. So now completed 16 laps on this run. Let's hope we can get some green flag pit stops in just a little while. Of course, we had some green flag pit stops to Iowa and Homestead as well. How does this track? Very much big difference than what we saw last time when we were in action 2 weeks ago. Just last week we were off towards the college basketball tournament. Out front by the slimmest of margins over William Owens. Dickinson rounds out your top 5. Now Navarro still working his way up the field, slowly but surely in that 96. So he's now side by side with Matt Taylor, fellow Sweet Tea Gang driver. Sweet Tea Gang is pretty much all but clinched. I believe they've already actually clinched the team championship for the Pavement Ignition Series. So for their efforts, they get the choice of a trophy or T-shirts. They have chosen T-shirts, so they will get their T-shirts here come the season end. Now Taylor going to fall, trying to keep himself solely into that 6th spot. Maybe the teammates are trying to work together and draft themselves up to the front pack. I see Dickinson also is falling behind. That may be by design as well, though. Let's hope his tires aren't going away this early. I might be falling back to Taylor and them to try to set up a draft tandem there to see if they can get back up to the top pack together. Of course, drivers in the back more than likely are saving their tires. Gets a little squirrely there on the back straight. Okay. Keep it off into the corner. Still runs in the 3rd spot for now. Trying to hold it on the outside. So back to Sean Smith, but moves to that 3rd spot. So now the Raleigh, North Carolina driver Sean Smith will move up to the 3rd spot. He's now on the podium in the early going. 20 laps in, 60 laps left at Auto Club. Miles into the 160-mile event. Aiden Schramm has pretty much led every single lap, I think, other than maybe the first lap. I'm not 100% sure if he led the first lap or not. I know he's led every single one since then, though. He's still a little bit ways back from the rest of the pack, kind of broken himself away. Navarro now is leading that 2nd pack on the track, and Brandon now has passed Matt Taylor there, 15th. Is Matt Taylor, of course, driver, the guy that makes all the trophies for Reigel Promotions Esports. Each and every event, he's been getting kind of tired of seeing messages from me lately about all the trophies that we've been giving away here on Reigel Promotions Esports, but drivers love them, and we're definitely grateful to be able to have a partner like 618 Engraving and Design to allow us to give out the trophies at an affordable price that makes us able to do it each and every event. Definitely, if you're a league out there watching, definitely hit up Matt Taylor for trophies, as they're definitely the best option that I've ever worked with when it comes to trophies for any iRacing league. Bucket now is starting to lose touch with your top 3. But still runs 4th. course, new paint scheme here tonight for Aiden Schramm in the 86. As he continues his trek to try track down Jordan Navarro. Of course, had some issues in the beginning of the season. Had some wins get away from him. Really, he's led quite a bit of laps in a lot of races. He ended up winning at Talladega, a track that we talked about him with him. He just wasn't very confident going to that race, but he ended up lucking out to get the end, get the win in the end. So very static. That was his first win on the season, with the league in general, I believe. And he let the most laps out of anybody in the opener, but the tires just kind of faded towards the end. And same thing happened at Iowa, where he probably had the race won. He just didn't come down pit road for some tires, and strategy just hasn't really fallen his way in a couple different events, and that's really been hurting him. As he ended up finishing 11th in the season opener, which obviously definitely could have been at least a top 5 if his tires just were able to hold on just a little bit more. But he's still in striking distance of race lead. Of course, win tonight would go a long way for his championship hopes. And won the last Crown Jewel 2 weeks ago. Definitely looking to add some more hardware to the shelf here this evening with another Crown Jewel win. Of course, we've seen so far this season, Brody Duscher in the off-road series is the only driver to win a Crown Jewel event for a trophy and actually be the point leader. As Kenny Hoffman did not win any of the 2 Crown Jewel events in the 360s. He obviously has 3 wins on the year, but none of them came in the bigger events. But he is well on his way to being crowned a 360 Sprint Car Series champion in 2026. See now Sean Smith there is working the inside of William Owens. So they're going to start their battle here for the second spot now. Sorry, I was trying to change the cameras here, but my mouse ended up deciding to die right there in the middle of all that. But Schramm still really hasn't had any challenges since the year. Like I talked about, only 1 set of tires this evening, so to change on to. So you want to save these tires and be able to make it last as long as you can, because you want as much grip as possible if there is a late race yellow towards the end. So if you can push it to like lap 45 or 50, say, on fuel and tires, that might be the best call. Now Sean Smith's going to probably give him one of the big challenge for the race lead. He's worked his way by William Owens, and now on the outside. A lot of the passes that we've seen have happened on the outside here tonight. And of course he'll try to set up him with some draft going back up to 86. We remain caution-free. We still have not seen a 618 engraving design caution flag. And we're only 10 laps away from being halfway home. Meanwhile, in the back there, Jordan Navarro now has made his way by Dylan Brandon and Ty Dickinson. Now he's up in the top 5. We spoke about. He needs to finish in the top 5. He can finish 5th. Each week he will be the champion come next week, so he knows exactly what he has to do. Of course, championship just slipped away from him last year in the Pavement Ignition Series when it was under the late model stocks. Lost the championship by just 2 points, as we had 3 drivers separated by less than 5 points at the season end. And Aiden Schramm was going. Jeff Bergner was the champion last year, did not take part this year. as we can get the car change. Thought maybe Sean Smith was going to look for the lead there, as he did have a good run on Schramm, but Schramm must have got back up on the wheel and decided that's just not happening. But now William Owens also staying in line, and now it's pretty much single file to the corners, kind of branch out, run different lines. You see Smith able to hold it a little bit lower off the corner. Schramm kind of arcs it off the corner to get a little bit more momentum. See, Puckett has lost touch with the top three, but he's kind of in no man's land right now in that 4th spot. He's pretty much like a second back from the top three, and he's a second and a half ahead of Jordan Navarro. You see Brandon there now trying to work to the outside for the 5th spot on Navarro. He has it 4 now. Will he be able to keep it? He does it into 3 and 4. So now we're going to see 77 cuts down the racetrack onto the apron. See if he can get the run. Not able to get there in time. Now he slides back up the racetrack and try his hand at the top now. Sean Smith is trying to be patient, but he's also trying to put some pressure there on the 86, perhaps trying to get a little bit more of the tires than he would like. Jordan Navarro, of course, those two kind of can work together. They're racing for separate teams, but they can kind of help each other out. They're definitely reeling in Robert Puckett. Them drafting together obviously going to be a significant advantage in speed when it comes to the 45 truck, as they're just going to catch him in no time. The only truck that is out of the race to this point is the 6 of Scott Thomason. It's a tough break for him. He might have been involved in a single car spin earlier in the event. Armando Melgoza currently just came off Dirt Series Promotions pit lane in 78. He must have said it was finally time to get some tires for him. And Jason Haynes also 2 laps down. I believe he just came down pit road. He may have tagged the outside retaining wall at some point. Robert Puckett going to make his way down Dirt Series Promotions pit lane from P4. Sure, it will be 4 tires and fuel for the driver out of Lavaca, Arkansas. Still out front though, the 3 that have led them all pretty much to this point. They've kind of switched spots. As now, of course, Sean Smith now up to 2nd, as William Owens is running in the runner-up spot for most of the event. Smith now might be able to get to the inside here down the front stretch, see if he can get there. Not able to get there in time. Schramm shuts the door on him. He will leave yet another lap out front. Smith goes to the outside. Thought about cutting it back underneath him, but he'll think better of it for now. So we got Toyota, Chevy, and Toyota leading the field right now. You see Schramm is going to take his way down to Dirt Series Promotions pit lane now. So the leader going to come down and get 4 tires and fuel, making sure he gets down to that speed limit. Sean Smith now inherits the lead out front. Sure, he will. I mean, you might see him come down pit road here soon. But I would expect him to try to stay out here a little bit longer to try to push it on this run, as he typically right there with a few of other drivers that run at the towards the back of the field. He's usually one of those drivers that saves his tires more in the long run. Of course, the driver has a lot of experience when it comes to running NASCAR leagues on iRacing. Runs with the Miller Time Motorsports League that typically runs a truck series season on Wednesday nights throughout the winter. side of the car there for Sean Smith is Wake County Speedway, of course, track at North Carolina. Car Store, frequent visitor there every single year. You see 𝐸𝐴𝐴𝐷𝐻 cycles back out. He is 1 lap down in the 86. He's 1 lap down there in the 86. You're going to see the other 2 trucks come down pit lane now. But now obviously he'll get that lap back in the 7. And he may be able to retake the lead depending on what he can do here on his outlap. As I believe pretty much everyone has now made their way down pit lane. Obviously with 80 laps, that's part of the reason why we made it 80 laps. Very close on fuel. You're definitely going to have to save to be able to make it all at one stop if that is the case. Obviously these trucks made it about almost to the halfway point on fuel. Let's make it a little farther than that if they hope to make it away. Of course, it's been 40 laps. Green flag racing to this point. See trucks came up right off pit road. Schramm going to easily overtake them in the 86. So he'll have a big advantage now as the undercut, very much so, very good. We'll see how much a lap or 2 fresher tires makes a difference on the long run. And of course, like I said, you're going to have to save fuel if we actually do stay green flag the rest of the way. If not, you're going to have to come down, you may have to come down on Dirt Series Promotions pit lane on one of these restarts. One of the cautions, if we get one, to top off on fuel just to be a little bit on the safer side. William Owens must have had a very much so of a better entry into pit road. This is about a second or so ahead of Sean Smith. Of course, those 2 came down pit lane at the same time, and Sean Smith even was the leader, I believe, when he came down pit lane. All still on the same straightaway. But obviously quite a bit of time separated between one another now. Robert Puckett, one of the first drivers that pitted. He is still in the 4th spot in the 45. And Brandon there in 59, still on his 5th. So your top 5, a little bit shuffled there. Of course, Smith and Owens switched around, but still relatively the same order as it was before. And Matt Hinkle in 52, truck that we've not talked about much here this evening. Of course, went to Slide Job City and lead the broadcast here on Sunday nights with 360 sprint cars. But he's had a pretty good season. Been a 2nd in the season opener. He just gets past there like he's almost sitting still by Jordan Navarro. Tells me maybe he doesn't have as fresh tires as Hinkle does, as Navarro does. I would not think this speed disparity should be that much, but I could be wrong, or just Navarro decided it's finally go time. Of course, driver number, just noticed that we're not seeing here tonight. Scott Barrett, of course, he's been in competition the last couple weeks. Put on a pretty impressive showing. Not won a race yet, but finished on the podium at Milwaukee, and very good runs at Talladega, Iowa as well. See, the gap has closed a little bit out front. Aiden Schramm lost about a second of his advantage since he came up pit road. It's down to 4.5 now. But lap times on the last go around about the same time. Both of them are running relatively about the 42.0 range. So significantly slower than what we saw in Bloodline Sim Sports qualifying earlier this evening. Currently have 12 trucks still on the racetrack. Jason Haynes still in the session. but he is sitting on Dirt Series Promotions pit lane, I'm assuming with damage at the moment. He's had a tough year. Another driver had a tough year there in the 66. Sean Smith here and Robert Puckett now going to about to do battle. Puckett, of course, was running a little bit of ways behind Smith. Smith could be just saving his tires as he fell pretty far back from Owens. I imagine speed-wise, he can't be missing that much, but he knows he's got to save as much as he can. Kind of hope for a yellow to pull the field back together as this long run continues. Still have yet to see a 618 Reigel design caution flag. Pretty incredible stuff here at Iowa for the Pavement Ignition Series. Aiden Schramm still sledding a blistering speed of a pace out front. 42.1 that last time around. Fastest car other than him. Actually, the fastest truck on the racetrack other than him that lap was Jordan Navarro at 1.7. But out of the top three, it's pretty significant how faster Aiden Schramm is. And see, now Navarro going to fly on by Sean Smith in 96. I really think Jordan Navarro is putting the whip to her basically, and he says it's go time. He's going to chase down the whole field. In 96, he is putting the laps down. He's faster than anybody out on the track right now. The driver that holds the fastest lap out of anybody in the race to this point, the 𝐇𝐢𝐧𝐤𝐥𝐞's fastest lap is Robert Puckett. 40.795 is the mark that he set earlier in this run. Schramm must have made a mistake out front as Owens was able to significantly cut into the lead that Schramm had on the last lap. Schramm ran a 43.885. Owens had a 42.674. So big time difference there between the two. As Navarro now chases down Robert Puckett. He's looking for a podium spot in 96. Of course, 4 starts for Jordan Navarro, 1 win, 4 podiums, 4 top 5s, and 4 top 10s. He has not been off the top 3 all season long in that 96 truck, and that's what it takes to win a championship. He's looking to do that once again. Of course, though, out front, Aiden Schramm, driver out of Gardner, Kansas, he has led them all to this point from the outside of the front row. As soon we only have 30 laps remaining here in Fontana, California. We're now going to get closer and closer to the back bumper of Robert Puckett. This is the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. Of course, a few moments here to talk about why we wait for them to catch up to the back of Puckett. Gold Rush was the original special event for Reigel Promotions Esports. It took place on April 10th of 2024. I think it was something like we paid $30 out that night in total out the top 5. We did 5 micro sprints. Micro sprints at Kern. It's the only time that our league has ever done an event at the Kern Dirt Oval. And just to think how far Reigel Promotions has come since that night. But this is kind of the inaugural special event that we ever ran. And we continue that legacy here this evening at Auto Club. Last year it took part with the late model stocks at the Nashville Fairgrounds in January. And now Navarro is right on the back bumper. Puckett looks to the outside. Significant speed advantage there for the 96 that makes the pass with ease. So he's now only 7 seconds back from your top duo. Of course, he was about 12 seconds back at one point. So the 96 truck is on rails right now here at Auto Club. Like I said though, only truck that is faster than Aiden Schramm out front right now is that 96 in Navarro. Of course, Navarro is still 7 seconds back. He's going to have to burn a lot of tires and equipment there to get up to the 96. And if he can get there, without a caution that is, we'll see how long it takes him. Now Puckett will fall back in line. He'll try to see if he can use the draft behind the 96. He's advantage to pull up to the rest of the field. So you see William Owens in the picture. Not that far ahead of your 3rd and 4th place drivers. Meanwhile, Matt Taylor runs 5th in the 618 engraving and design truck. Sean Smith now back to 6th. That's the lap car there of the 78 of 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 goes and runs 12th in front of him. Dylan runs at 7th. 8th is Matt Eagle, which is 15 trucks running in the 4th row currently. Josh Slater runs in 9th. 10th is Jimbo Rooney. 11th there. That was running right behind Josh Slater. Lap down currently, so something must have happened. He sped on pit road perhaps. It's Ty Dickinson, but he is currently a lap down. So I would expect something like that happening. That is your full field rundown here as we're under 30 laps left already here at Auto Club. This race has flown by with no cautions. Definitely lifting out of the throttle there, trying to save as much as he can because he obviously does not want to have to make that extra stop if he doesn't have to. As William Owens, you see, he just got past there. He missed that part, but he just got passed by both Navarro and Puckett. Those two are going up front in a hurry in the 96 and 45. We'll see how much longer it takes them to catch the Schramm now. Like I said though, they could be burning up so much stuff it might not matter, especially if you don't get a caution. They're definitely going to have to get fuel with how hard they're running out there. Like I said, Robert Puckett here at 45. His best finish this season is 12th. So heck of a run there for the Arkansas driver. Of course, Puckett, long-time driver with Green Promotions Esports. One of the original drivers, right there with Jimbo Rooney. They've been here since the very beginning. When I was, we did the league promotion sessions back in 2023, 360s. Puckett and Rooney have been there, thick and thin, basically, with the league. Puckett always on the voice chat, making everyone smile and laugh, no matter what race it is. Definitely one of the nice guys up there. See, Owens falls back a little bit there, but pretty impressive the speed that Jordan Navarro has been able to pull through the field. He continues to lay it down each and every lap. He was a second faster the last time around than Aiden Schramm. Pretty constant, kind of the complete opposite of what happened there on the first run for Jordan Navarro. Of course, he was kind of sitting back in the pack. Didn't qualify all that high in the race. Started back at the top 10. But he is pulling Puckett and Schramm with him. Jimbo Rooney up here, yep, it is. He just came off pit lane, I believe. So he's going to stay out of the way of the race leaders. Schramm still out front in 86. Getting close to being 20 laps left. know I continue to keep saying it, I cannot believe we're not seeing caution. Pretty much no one has spun out on us at this point. I think maybe Scott did there at the beginning, but nobody's even touched one another from my knowledge out here on the track. Schramm continues to lead about second gap right now over Jordan Navarro. The lap times have sort of stalled out. They were almost identical on lap time. As I say that, now Navarro took off 4/10 that last time around. He had a 42.6. Schramm ran a 42.9, 6.2. Of course, Bucket's still in this fight as well. And William Owens, I'm sure he's just kind of laying in the weeds right now in 30. Trying to stay in the battle, but at the same time saving his tires up. And using that draft he's able to get from Puckett up front there to try to stay with him without having to burn up his stuff too much. Right now we have 9 trucks on the lead lap as Rooney with his pit stop there did end up going a lap down in 27, but he still runs at inside the top 10. 27 machine. So we got Rooney, Dickinson, they're both 1 lap down, and then 𝐾𝐲𝐬 is 2 laps down. We got Jason Haynes and Scott Thomason. Those 2 are out of the race. But still 12 over 14 trucks that took the green. Of course, only driver that was in the session that did not start here this evening was the 10 truck of Jake Roya. 60 are now complete, 20 left for Aiden Schramm, looking to pick up his 2nd straight crown jewel event. Now he's got a hungry customer behind him. Tomorrow, he has 3 career wins in the league. Picked up a 305 win at Kokomo last year, along with the 𝐒𝐥𝐻𝐿 Series win in the late model stocks at the Hickory Motor Speedway, and of course one at Iowa on March 5th. He is as hungry as ever to try to see if he can get that his first trophy he's ever had with the league. Of course, trying to secure the championship first, but I'm sure he would definitely want the win here in the Gold Rush here this evening if given the opportunity. And he's looking there on the outside. You see Owens in the background. He's now out of the picture. So he's going to be a horse race out front. Like we said, we got a lot of different factors coming into play here, though. We saw those drivers had to pit before lap 40, so everyone might have to come down pit road, or nobody. So some of these people could be saving fuel, like Schramm out front could be saving fuel, trying to make it to the end. At the same time, same thing with Navarro. We also have tire wear coming into play. These drivers have been on these tires for almost near 30 laps now. So it's just a lot of different factors coming into play in the closing stages. But now they're all kind of within draft of one another. We saw how much they ran in the draft in the beginning. It'd be very tough to get away from one another now that Navarro is all over the back bumper, unless his truck significantly goes away. But you have your top 2 trucks all season now leading the pack just in reverse order. Robert Puckett has, like I spoke earlier, 13 points right now. He does not have a top 10 on the season, so a podium run for Robert Puckett will be a huge success for the 45 truck. I could be wrong, but I think Robert Puckett's best finish in a Regal Promotions Esports event across all of our series is a 4th place run, which came, I think, at Bristol back in 2024. I could be wrong, but I think it was a 4th place run for him. He was very close to winning the opener for a 305 Sprint Car Series back in 2024. Led almost all the laps in that one, but David Flanagan, the driver that won the Daytona 250 last year, made a pass with 3 laps to go on Puckett. Definitely is a heartbreaking loss for him there. Schramm still leading him out front with 15 laps left when they get to the line. Like I said, all 3 of them pretty much running laps right together. The 3 trucks here, obviously, they can kind of wait it out. Might wait to the end. It might go early. I mean, at this point, they can kind of bide their time and see how the race is going to play out, especially if they think they have enough fuel and tires in the tank to be able to push it here in the closing stages. See, monster gap here. See, William Owens and a couple other drivers are coming down pit lane now to get fuel, so that might throw a wrench in the plans as well. Those drivers, of course, they have no more sets of tires in the pits, but you just need some fuel, and they are going to be very close here out front on fuel. They'll make it to the end. If they are able to get past, I think it's lap 74, they would break a record for the longest incline run in Reigel Promotions esports history. Previously set by the inaugural Empire State Showdown for the big block modifieds, went 74 laps without a caution. Big blocks at Oswego Speedway in 2024. So that'd be quite a record to be able to break here. I think Robert Puckett just made his way down Dirt Series Promotions pit lane. He will. Obviously, we saw Aiden Schramm able to undercut these drivers earlier by pitting early. So we'll see if Puckett is able to come out in time. At the same time, maybe William Owens and one of those other drivers may be able to come out right up in front of him. You never really know. Schramm still out front in 86. Looks like him and Navarro both going to come down pit lane now. Obviously, if money stopped here, going to have to be perfect. Definitely can't speed and need to be able to get in and out of the box to the best of their ability. Sean Smith now is going to inherit the lead in 77. The question is, did he save enough fuel? Because one of these cars trucks in the back here could miraculously pull off a win if their fuel mileage is correct, if they can pull it off. Matt Taylor runs second, Josh Slater third. Those 3 I have not pitted yet. Navarro and Schramm call pit road here. Brandon, I believe he might have pitted. I could be wrong. I think he's pitted based on the time that leads behind. So I believe he will be your leader as long as the other trucks out front still have to come down pit lane. You see Josh Slater now making his way down pit lane in the Elite Performance Industries 30. Navarro, though, that's the biggest news right there on that pit stop. He was able to make it out in time, and he was able to pass Aiden Schramm. So now Schramm now in the catch-up game for the first time tonight in 86. William Owens also made the undercut work by pitting those couple laps earlier. Of course, he was 2 seconds behind these drivers when he did pit, but he's out in front. said, a huge question is if Sean Smith is somehow able to make it the whole way on the field, will he even make an extra 10 laps? That's the question. Of course, Sean Smith pitted at the same time that William Owens did on the first run. I think it was about lap 38 into 39 is when it came down. So he pretty much made it almost that long on the first run. So if he could stretch it a couple laps by playing the long game, he may be able to squeak out this win in 77. Of course, we don't have the in-car communications, so we don't exactly know what he's thinking. But Matt Taylor looks like he ran out of fuel, perhaps, or taking the slow route down Dirt Series Promotions pit lane. I think he ran out of fuel, but he makes his way down pit lane now. So William Owens now will be in second. So the last hope for someone to make it on fuel will be Sean Smith. Of course, he has about a half a track advantage. They're on the front, second through fourth on the front stretch. He's already in turn 3. Of course, if he comes down pit lane, he will definitely lose the race lead. So he's got to hope and pray that he can stay out front. See Ty Dickinson there in front. He is still fighting to be on the lead lap in 67. He's right in front of your race leader, Sean Smith. As Josh Slater comes out 2 laps down. Matt Taylor about 1 lap down now. 7 trucks on the lead lap now. Sean Smith still leads. William Owens second, third, Jordan DeMarle Aiden Schramm now fourth. Robert Puckett must have something must happen during his pit stop, as now he is trapped a lap down in 9th. Schramm still he's definitely not out of it yet, but he's got to do everything he can here on the last run if he has anything left on those tires. Definitely lost some time down pit lane. Now you see Navarro working to the outside in 96. Of course, the driver is a native of Sacramento, California, so home state race at the very least. Of course, Sacramento more northern California than southern California, as Auto Club is. But now they're side by side as they head off into 1 and 2. Smith still about 20 seconds up the road. Still hasn't pitted yet. So we still have 5 laps remaining when he gets to the line. Five laps left. Now Navarro works his way into second. We've got 2 different battles on the racetrack. If Sean Smith can make it the whole way, he is your winner. But of course, if not, this battle between William Owens and Jordan Navarro is your battle for the race win. This is the first ever fuel mileage race that we've ever really had. We've had it come down to tires many times with our events, but never fuel to this point. Of course, 2-mile tracks in NASCAR history, especially tracks like Michigan, for example, and Auto Club, very much well known for their fuel mileage finishes. As Owens there now all over the back bumper of Navarro once again. Of course, this track here, very much so a track where you can really coast through the corners because of just how big and wide they are. So it is relatively easy to save fuel. But I have to say that Sean Smith finally ran out of fuel. He is now going to negate the lead. So that means this battle right here is going to be your battle for the win as they come here across the hill here off of turn 4. These two now will be in the race lead. Of course, you got to give a round of applause to Sean Smith, who tried to make it to the end. Just a little bit too short on fuel. 3 laps was the margin. Does not want to give up too much time. So he'll come off pit road. Dylan Brandon also comes down pit road as well. Navarro looking good out front with 2 laps to go. When they get to the line, William Owens is falling back just a little bit in 30. Still 2 laps left here, coming down the back straight. Owens still in it, just he's got to be able to see if he can get any time up. He's a little bit faster, but just barely. He's going to need to do a little bit, make some more inroads on that time the best he can here on the final 2 miles when they get to the line. Third-party gaming white flag is out here at Auto Club. We have yet to see a caution flag, and we will not see one flag tonight. Set for the longest green flag run. And it's going to come down to these 2 drivers out front. Of course, Navarro looking for his 2nd win on the season in the series point lead. Coming into tonight, looks like he's going to ever so extend that. But William Owens looks like he was all over the back bumper, not able to make anything go. He's going to set it in here as hard as he can, 3 and 4. Not able to get close enough. Jordan Navarro going to come off at turn 4, and he will win the Gold Rush. Finally wins a trophy with the Reigel Promotions Esports, his 2nd win of the season. Of course, his first win was on the short track of Iowa Speedway. Now he gets one on the Speedway here, 2 miles at Auto Club. Congratulations to Jordan Navarro on the race win here tonight. And a round of applause to all these drivers on completing great 80 laps with no cautions. Pretty incredible stuff here in the Heco Plasma Cutter Pavement Ignition Series. Of course, we'll get a word here with the top 3 of Navarro, Owens, and Schramm. Definitely heartbreak for Schramm there in 86. Fell a little bit too short tonight. Led pretty much all the laps for just once again he did. But just not able to finish it off there at the end with the green flag pit stop. Of course, the burnout here by Jordan Navarro in the infield. But full rundown of tonight's finish will be Navarro, Owens, Schramm, Smith, and Dickinson. So Ty Dickinson there, great run at the end. Come from a lap down to finish 5th. Pretty good stuff out of Dickinson there to be able to get a top 5 after it's all said and done. And Matt Taylor. Yeah, then Matt Taylor there in finished 6th and 7th is Robert Bucket. Then 8th, Brandon, then Slater and Rooney round out the top 10. Then 11th, Melgoza, 12th, Inkle, Haynes, Thomason, and then Roya finishes 15th in the 10. So we'll go back here and see if we can get when Aiden Schramm was in the session, so I can get a picture of his car when he's still out there, and he was there. Now we'll see if Jordan Navarro is in the broadcast waiting room. He is not yet. He is now, so we'll get a word with Jordan Navarro. Hey Jordan, how you doing?
Ecstatic, surprised. I really don't know what to feel right now, to be honest with you. I didn't expect to win it. That was kind of accidental.
I mean, heck, I was surprised that you were able to carry so much speed and run them down and still have something even left at the end.
You know, I was trying to do a lot of research on this track, tried to practice a lot to kind of get an idea of what was quicker, what was going to save fuel. I noticed that the faster line was down below, but it did scrub tires a lot more. So I kind of just tried to, kind of meet in the middle, not go too high because you're going to be running too slow. So I kind of just started running in the middle, and I even messed up coming into the pits for the first time. I went too far, and then I was too far to the left, and I'm like, what is going on? I just screwed it all up. And then I guess I became a man on a mission and I ended up catching Aiden and trying to use him for some fuel strategy, and it just ended up working out, I guess.
I guess how nervous were you that Sean Smith was going to be able to make it the whole way?
Well, you can ask Matt Taylor. It was a Code Brown situation the entire time until I heard the spotter say the leader is pitting. Then I got very excited, and then I got very nervous again because we still had a couple to go to the white flag, and so I was like, "Oh God, please nobody wreck." And everybody was wanting there to be a wreck. I was probably the only one that did not want one.
I said it on the broadcast here. Pretty incredible stuff to be able to go all 80 laps without a single caution.
Yeah, that's impressive. I'm proud of all the guys. I know there was a couple close calls, but it was a really clean race overall.
Yeah, really, they've been doing incredible all year long, really, to this point. Even Talladega was a pretty good race, really. Just it's Talladega. But tonight
Yeah.
here, great race. You had everything that really that you'd want. I mean, you had a long green flag run, you had green flag pit stops, you had tires, you had a fuel mileage game. Just really, just all of it just came down there to the end.
Yeah, it did. I ended up messing up on qualifying too, so I started way further back and was trying not to panic there. And then, of course, like I mentioned, I messed up in the pits, so I kind of thought that I gave it all away, and then somehow it ended up going in my favor at the end. So I'm not gonna complain. I'm gonna party tonight.
Of course, it's your fourth time winning with the league, and your second time this season. But first time you ever get a trophy. Of course, you're looking to add another one next week when we go to Las Vegas to clinch the championship.
Yes, sir. I'm very happy to finally win something, and I'm looking forward to next week. Going to try to hold off Shram as best as I can, and hopefully come away and redeem myself from last season.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anyone you want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, I got to thank all the guys at Sweet Tea Gang. They're all pitching in together, working with each other. I know Ty wasn't feeling the best tonight, so we didn't really get to hear from him. But I know Taylor was helping me out. I'm more of the driver. I'm not that great with strategy, so sometimes I'll kind of bounce ideas off my teammates and kind of come up with the best solution. I got my beautiful fiance to thank. I got my mom, my stepdad, my brother Malik. I got my buddy Rudy over at work. I got my grandparents. I got you for putting on these races and this promotion. It's been one hell of a season, and I'm excited to see what happens next week. Oh, wait, hang on before I get in trouble. MJ Groya, Apex Graphics. Boom! I said it. Quit getting mad at me.
Of course, you might have. You're looking for. I mean, we've had a perfect season where someone's won six wins in 6 races before, but obviously, great season all around for you so far. You've been on the podium every single week. Let's see if you can complete the sweep podiums all around next week.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll try my best. I'm not making any promises. I don't think this entire season was supposed to go this way, but I'm not going to complain.
Like I said, congrats on the win, and we'll see you next week at Las Vegas.
Thank you very much. I look forward to it.
All right, that was Jordan Navarro, your race winner here tonight in the 3rd annual Gold Rush here at Auto Club Speedway. Now we'll get a word with William Owens, driver that came up just a little bit short here tonight.
Hello.
Hey, William, how you doing?
That's a frustrating second place, man.
Yeah, you were right there all race long, just especially when you were so close even on that last lap yet. You followed him in the 1 and 2. Just didn't seem like you had the grip to get off the corner towards the end. But still, I mean, like I said, definitely a frustrating second, but yet another podium for you.
Yeah, I'm nice and consistent, if nothing else. Going into Las Vegas, which I personally consider the 1.5 miles to be my best track. I've always been okay at these 2 milers, maybe a bit awkward with them, but I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do. I think I'll be third in points. It's going to be a bit of a gap to catch up to Navarro and Schramm. The getting wrecked at Dega on the last lap is going to come back to bite me, and getting wrecked last week at getting wrecked and knocked down a few positions at Milwaukee last week or week before last rather is going to probably come back to bite me a little bit. It looks like so.
Yeah, still though,
But
obviously was I would say a bumpy start to the season for you with Talladega and not be able to get a great finish at Homestead. But ever since then, sitting pretty good last couple races. Maybe you'll be able to cap it off with a win next week.
yeah, that's we'll see. That's literally my only chance to win the championship. I'm kind of in a must-win at this point, and then I have to hope that the other two have something happen. But with how clean it is, I don't know that I'll be able to bet on that. I was really happy to see the race go green all the way. That's rare, even in lead racing. So I'm really happy with that.
It was the longest green flag run in our history. We had a big block modified race go 74 laps before without a caution, but we've never had any race go this long. I could believe it with how clean the drivers have been all year long, but still pretty incredible to not have any cautions in an 80-lap race.
The setup that iRacing has for this track was particularly stable. I noticed when I was practicing earlier today, like I actually got to the point where just messing around, I would actively try to wreck it, and it was pretty difficult. The only real danger point on this track is the freaking pit entry. You remember what happened to me last time we were here in the truck? I was extra careful tonight. I added brake bias to the front, and I practiced the entry several times to make absolutely sure that didn't happen again. Ironically, being conservative on that entry might have cost me the win tonight. That and slightly overfueling the car. I wanted to make sure I have a margin when I came back out, and I think the extra seconds I took being a bit conservative on entry, and the extra second or two it took to fuel the car, that extra tick of a gallon was probably what cost me the win tonight. But still got a second place. I think I called the strategy right. I realized when I pitted, it's like there's no way I'm making it. The fuel calculator was not changing even with me clutching both corners. So I'm like, that's not going to work. I have to pit. I'm going to try and undercut it. And that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah, I mean, it worked for you because, I mean, you were able to get at least gained a lot of time based on where you were. Just it didn't have enough speed to keep Navarro behind you yet. After a little bit there, I wasn't sure if Sean Smith was going to pull one out of the hat and be able to make it the whole way.
He might have had a chance if he hadn't. I think I know what Sean did, actually. He didn't take tires on the initial pit stop. In fact, that was my original strategy. What I was going to do, I was doing the math, and the math didn't work with the one tire set in the fuel window, unless you heavily saved, which I did for the first stint. I managed to get right to lap 40, but it wasn't quite close enough. Otherwise, it would have been a fuel saving run. But what I was going to do is I was going to uncheck the tires for the first stop, run another 5 to 10 laps, and then come in and take the tires and run as hard as I could for like 30 or so. But I decided against that when I saw how close I was on fuel saving, and I didn't want to give up that opportunity. But that was my first strategy, and what you saw was kind of my my final iteration of said strategy.
Unless though, runner-up finish for you here tonight. Is there anyone you want to thank before I let you go?
You guys, obviously, for putting on these events. It's been a fun season. I'm looking forward to the finale next week, and I'm looking forward to the bid series with the B cars starting after that. That's going to be fun. A lot of bid names in there. I'm looking forward to that. Always fun races. The dudes we race with are keeping it clean tonight. That's like I said, that's a rarity. At any point a caution could have ruined all the strategizing and all the intrigue, and we kept it green, so that didn't happen. And the viewers, of course, you guys are the reason we exist. So. Thanks, everyone.
I appreciate you running with us each and every week, and we'll see you next week at Vegas.
All right, looking forward to it. Have a good night.
All right, that was your second place finisher, William Owens. And lastly, Aiden Schramm finishes third after leading the most laps here tonight. Hey, Aiden, of course, you led the most laps here tonight yet again. Seems like this has been the tale of your season. Of course, still the winningest driver on the year, now tied with Navarro, but it's got to be frustrating to not be able to finish it off there at the end.
Yeah, it does suck. At least it wasn't like one of the first races where it was just a complete blowout, but just didn't play the card right. Cards right. I had everything right until it was just all strategy. Next week at Vegas, it might be worth the investment into crew chief for me. I'm like Leighton McQueen. I fired my crew chief and I need a new one because strategy whole season hasn't been working out, but yeah, it is pretty frustrating, but I'll just give it my best go at Vegas and see how it goes. I don't think it's going to be a big fight for the championship. It could, but Vegas is a pretty plain and simple track, and I'm sure Navario will be able to do that pretty well. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't done the
definitely.
math, obviously, but I think you would have to win, and he'd have to finish probably like 7th or 8th, more than likely.
Yeah, might be worth putting the bumper. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, just gotta go in there pretty optimistic and at least try and finish on a high note.
Yeah, all in all, though, still able to win, obviously, the Shamrock 100 and Dega this year. Another podium finish here. Been a really good season for you. Just obviously some of these races just haven't been able to get the finish that you wanted. But you'll try again next week and see if you can get yet another win.
Yeah, that's the goal. And at this rate, I do want to try. I might try another new series. Maybe go back to dirt and the series, or maybe do the asphalt elite or something to spice things up. Because I definitely want to try and go for a championship this season. It's been good, but it's definitely just not championship potential. So yeah, just gotta go to Vegas, do the best we can, and roll with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, all glory to God, and I'd just like to thank my family, my dad watching. I know it got kind of stressful with me and my dad because we were trying to figure out the fuel strategy at the end, and I was pretty anxious and stressful, and we were trying to come up with something. But I'd like to thank all my friends and family watching, and anyone who got me to here. I'd like to thank Holy and Waterwell Service LLC. He's sponsoring all my stream races. It's really nice. They've been serving Western Kansas, doing their welling service. Pretty cool. And Fast Cash Racing Products. And gonna have a new sponsor on board for Vegas, which is gonna be pretty cool. I'll leave that a little secret, but yeah, just like to thank you for officiating and putting all these races up. And yeah, try and do the best we can at Vegas.
Absolutely. Thank you for racing here tonight. Definitely, like obviously I said, frustrating to come up short, but another good run for you. And we'll see you next week at Vegas.
That's good.
All right, that was your third place runner here tonight, Aiden Schramm. Of course, that is going to about do it for us here at the Auto Club Speedway. This has been the third annual RPES Gold Rush. Next week, Thursday night, we'll be at Las Vegas Motor Speedway to wrap up the 2026 Henkel Plasma Cutting Pavement Ignition Series Championship. And Jordan Navarro obviously picked up another win tonight, sitting very good coming into next week. But Schramm still has an outside chance at picking up the title. We'll be live next on Sunday night with the Metcalf Media Off-Road Series. We'll crown their champion on Sunday with the Badger State Showdown at Crandon International Raceway.